Welcome back to yet another episode of the Pursue podcast. In today's episode, we're joined by Mari Alvsaker, swimmer, who just before the summer finished up her 4-year career at Keiser University. We've also had the pleasure of working with her over the summer as she's close to finishing up her internship with us and getting ready to tackle her master's degree at Wagner College in New York. Welcome to the Lion's Den.
Thank you so much for having me.
How we've been talking about it over lunch. Hey, we need to have another swimmer on the show, and who's better than the one sitting in the office and just finished? Are you looking forward to delving into the fine details of your college journey?
Yes, 100%. I look forward to know more people, to get to know my journey, and I hope more people will go to college as well, because my experience was so good. I loved my 4 years at Keiser. So yeah.
Yeah, and who wouldn't with the palm trees surrounding campus there? And we'll get to Keiser, right? But as we need to kind of understand, the rationale, the motivation for going over. And I mean, you're from Kongsberg in Norway.
Yeah.
How is it to be a swimmer in Kongsberg?
First of all, Kongsberg is pretty small. It's a pretty small town. So the club is pretty small as well. The swim club that was my mother club. So before I went to high school, I didn't know really where I wanted to go. If I wanted to continue my swimming career, or if I wanted to go to a high school in Kongsberg. The trainer situation in Kongsberg was pretty difficult. We had several coaches just in a couple of years. So my goal was to get into Drammen top sport school, and I made it. But I didn't really think about how I was going back and forth, because Drammen is pretty far from Kongsberg. Not that far, it's just 45 minutes away with train.
Yeah, but it's still a pretty long commute. It's like probably an hour or something each way.
From door to
every
door.
Day.
Yeah, from door to door, it took me 1 hour. So first of all, I had to take a bus down to the train station, and then the train to Drammen, and then I had to walk from the station and to school or to practice. So if I knew how long or how much time I was using on commuting today, I don't know if I would have done the same choice. But my 4 years at Drammen was amazing. However, after 2 years, I chose to change my club from Kongsberg to Drammen, because it was impossible to make all the practices in the afternoon because of the long days at school and the long commuting time. So I changed to Drammen, and I think that's my best choice ever, because the coach there really took care of me. I got a program where he really focused on me. I got so much better the 2 years I was with him, and he really supported me in the choice I wanted to do.
Yeah. But I was in high school, and I had a lot of classmates that were swimmers, and they would have eaten 2 loaves of bread before I even woke up, and they'd swum like 3,000 meters probably before I even woke up every day. But how did that work for you in the setup you had?
So the reason why I wanted to go to Drammen was because you got the opportunity to have morning practice at school. So instead of waking up at say 5 o'clock, I woke up at 6:30, and I was swimming and doing all my morning practice at school with my coach there. And then we went to the class afterwards. So the setup was really good. Even though I had to wake up early in the mornings and practice after school, I figured that the community, the environment I had at school and the people I was practicing with at school, was better than the small environment that I had in my mother club, Kongsberg. So
yeah. But it's important with a good environment to become better, right? I mean, that's for individual sports. I mean, did you view yourself, it's still a very individual sport with swimming. Do you feel like that?
100%. I saw more I met more my teammates than I did with my own family. My coach was closer to me maybe at one time than my parents, because I spent so much more time with them compared to my family. My teammates turned into sisters and brothers in a way, because you swim with them morning, afternoon, you go to the gym with them, you eat with them in the lunch, like you use so much time with them. So
But did that change Norway versus Florida and the college swimming?
So the thing is, yeah, I would say you got even closer in at college than you were back home, because at the end of the day, when you were done with school here in Norway at high school, people went to different clubs in the afternoon to practice. So you were together all morning and afternoon, and then you did the afternoon practice in your own club. But I would say, like, the reason why I chose swimming like over all the other sports I did, because I tried like everything at one point, was because of the good environment with the people. It was not because I was the best in swimming. It was because the people that was there was so fun, and I had so much fun swimming. So I think without having fun in the sports with the people that you're surrounded by, it's hard to get to college or finish high school.
I would maybe just say, when you're touching on that and how it was, commuting to Drammen and then going to school there and, swimming every single day, that like the transition from going there to the US, like swimming wise, maybe isn't the biggest one compared to Kim and I, for example, that played soccer, right? It was a bigger transition for us to go to college, but maybe like with the experience that you guys get during high school, the transition of getting into the US and getting into that rhythm, sort of, you have that, because you've done it for the past 3 years in high school here, right?
Yeah, 100%, because you start morning practice and training that much when you're pretty young. Like even in 8th, 9th grade, we did morning practice, right? So we're all used to practicing that much. However, though, the commuting part was the most boring and stressful part, I would say. You had to plan out the whole day. Like my mom made huge lunch packages every night, right? So I can bring them to school, because I needed breakfast, lunch, dinner, and maybe some snack in between, right? And then just go home for sleep and repeat that for 3 years. It's hard. So going to college in that way would be easier, because you have everything at one spot. So like it's I believe it's easier to go to college than my 4 years in Drammen.
Yep.
But did you think about, because you were serious about your swimming, and you worked hard at it, but was the end goal college and go swimming? I mean, I remember Shai, and one of our colleagues, he scouted you at a training camp, but have you ever thought about college and going that route?
No, 100% not. Like my plan was to quit swimming when I was done with high school, 100%. I was done swimming back and forth in this pool every day. Like I was happy with going to nationals, and almost all my friends was quitting as well. So I didn't really see the point of continuing if I was the only one left in my environment. So, but like then Shine contacted me, and then I told my mom, and in a way, I should never have done it, because she was the one pushing and pushing and pushing. Like she was the one making me doing the SAT and the TOEFL test. She was driving me everywhere. Like I was crying before the SAT. I didn't want to do this, but she really pushed me to do it, and I'm so happy I did, though, because I kind of know with myself that I would not fit in the normal everyday life for a normal person, like quit swimming, go to, for example, Bergen or Trondheim to just study. You're used to having this everyday life where you wake up, going to practice at 6 a.m., surrounded by so many swimmers. Like, I don't know, like I think that is too normal, and I don't fit in that category at all. So, yeah.
Well, good thing Shine contacted you then and enlightened you about the opportunity.
Yeah, but I was also when I got the message, though, I didn't really know if he understood like how good or bad I was, because in my opinion, I thought only the very best swimmers got an opportunity to go to the US at colleges, because I was not even in a national team. I went to nationals and I had fun. I got like a medal in a relay, like I was not the top swimmers. So, and I didn't really want to use too much money on going to college and as well. But what I figured was that college is for everybody. The ones that is the really top ones, the ones going to Olympics, or the ones that just want to have fun and get a fairy tale. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the misconception that many student or athletes across many different sports have, that you have to be elite. Of course, some are. You can see it in certain sports, like of course in swimming, there's some Olympians there, some amazing swimmers that have gone through the system. Same with track and field. But if you look at like the World Cup for women now, so many players that have background from college.
But even at Worlds now with swimming, it was so many swimmers that went to college or still in college that swam really good. So
yeah, so we estimate that across all the college divisions, and there's many of them. I mean, there's an ocean of opportunity there. Probably 600,000 plus, maybe even 700,000 student athletes in college across the divisions. And of course, not all of those get scholarships. Some do, some don't. There's everything from super good ones to just I want to have fun and compete while studying. So you don't have to be. We can break that misconception down right here, and it's for everybody. You just have to want to do it.
Yep. It truly is. And for context, 700,000 people, that's the capital of Oslo. No, capital of Norway, Oslo, 700,000 people. So, yeah, there's abundance of opportunities and so many people. And, I was one of those guys that, didn't necessarily wanted to go and become a pro, but wanted to play soccer and travel to the US and have fun while getting a degree. And I think that's an important lesson. And I think more and more people maybe understand that now more than ever. Yeah.
Because a good part of going to college, like, for a swimming perspective, is that you use so much time in this pool practicing for years, right? And then suddenly you just quit. Like
because you were saying earlier that my plan was to quit after high school. Like that's not very light at the end of the tunnel. Like finally I can quit when I'm done. But it should be rather, hey, what can I use the hard work I put in, my talent?
Yeah,
I mean, you say you were not good in swimming, but you're fast, right? But maybe not compared to the best ones. But it's nicer to be able to have a goal to maybe, okay, well, I'm doing this because I can get a scholarship, and you did, in the US, and rather than just think of it as, okay, well, that's one stage done, ticked off the list, and then now I'm doing something completely different, not swimming competitively again.
Yeah, because you get a prize for using so much time at practicing and maybe not going out with friends. Like, I didn't really have russe time or whatever you want to call it in my third grade at high school. Like,
the celebration with your friends in your final year of high school. Yeah.
At one point, like, you have to choose, right? And you choose swimming above everything almost at one point, and then suddenly you're just like letting it all go. Like, so college in a way is a reward for all the practices and everything you have done before in the sport. And
the prize was 4 years in West Palm Beach in Florida.
Beach, yeah, and it was amazing. I would do it all again.
Yeah, West Palm Beach, Florida. Can't blame you for choosing Keiser University, but you had many options. You weren't choosing, just this palm tree heaven. It was, you had schools in Georgia, in Tennessee, Converse College. That was 10 minutes from where I studied. That's an all-girls college. Maybe that was the reason you didn't want to go there.
It was actually my number one priority was that I want to have boys at the team because too many girls is too complicated.
Okay, yeah.
So
didn't know that was a thing, but of course in the swim group that is you see it very differently than to a men's soccer player. Yeah.
Too much drama with just girls.
Shine had an easy job. What's the one thing that I'm gonna help you with, Mari? I don't want to have only girls on my team. So yeah, okay. Fix
That's
that.
a good. Okay, take that preference on board. We do listen to all preferences.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Yeah. Okay, but it was between Carson Newman in Tennessee. Know that school well, and Keiser. Why did you, aside from the palm trees, why did you end up picking Keiser? It's a big decision to choose your school.
It is. It was different reasons, I believe. It was first of all, because it was in Naya. And Keiser Newman was a D2 school, so going to nationals would be like you had to chase the qualifications all the time, which I was kind of tired of because I have been chasing the national times here in Norway for like cuts for a long time, so I was kind of tired of chasing that. So it's maybe a easier way out, but also because Keiser is located in West Palm Beach, like living 4 years in Florida, it's a dream, no? Like, at least for me, living in Norway, going to West Palm Beach is crazy, like, the difference. But I also think it was because of the coach, Adam Epstein, the head coach in Keiser. His belief, or like his philosophy of swimming was what I wanted. His priority one was having fun with swimming, and he really communicated that very well to me. So that was my goal as well. Like, if you don't have fun with swimming, you don't get anywhere, in my opinion. So I think the combination of him as a coach and where Keiser is located, it was the best decision I did. Like,
Yeah. No, of course, and of course, like, you know, finances, scholarship, cost, you know, all of this, of course, fits into the complete picture. There's a lot of jigsaw puzzles,
It is
pieces to make one nice one.
It is, but also actually the offer I got from Keiser was one of my best ones as well. So financially, it was maybe the best one as well.
Well, even better,
Yeah.
even better, because we do see that, you know, of course, finances need to work. But we also see that in many cases, you know, athletes, when they do get offers and they, let's say they're going to pick between 3 or 4 schools, then, you know, they'll have to go into their little bubble to rank things and what's best with this part, what's best with that part. I like the coach philosophy better here, but the climate is much better here. And then I think a bit lower down on the pecking order is actually the cost. Of course, it needs to be within your budget and all that, and parents very interested to know. But of course, here, when it's also the best financial offer, then that was just you know, tick that dot as well.
It was
That box.
100%. But as you say, like, the financial is like, if you have different schools and you disagree a lot with the cheapest offer you have, like with the coach and where it's located and everything, like, I would never choose that. Like, it's so much more than just the financial part that has to work. If you want to have fun or like actually like your 4 years at college, or maybe if you go for the cheapest one, maybe you go home after a year because it was not the best fit for you. So with the help from Lånekassa, you can get pretty far.
You can. No, it's important. I mean, if you think about it in a long-term perspective, okay, it was maybe $3,000 more expensive to go to this school, but then it ticks most of the boxes, then it's a no-brainer, right? You know, our job would be to find the options, but you choose. You know, it's might come with advice based on what it is that you wanted and understanding the differences and all that, but you know, it's always the athlete choosing.
Yeah. I actually made a list though when I was doing all the phone calls with my coaches, like how it was. Like, I had a list of questions that I was always asking them, and then when I was done, I was rating them. Some phone calls I had for like 15 minutes, and others I had for over an hour. So it was pretty easy to like rank them. But I think that was my smartest thing, was that I did that, because it made the decisions so much easier than, I don't know, if you don't go into a meeting with like, if you haven't really thought about what you want to ask about, or like, stuff like that, it's harder to know what you really go to.
Yeah, I remember, you know, and that's still the number one advice I give to, you know, new student athletes, is the communication with coaches was the one thing that stood out to me, right? Like the first initial phone call, or the first, you know, team call you have with, you know, the potential new coach you're going to have. How does that flow, right? And I remembered that, like, I needed a guy that, you know, could joke around a little bit, you know, you could have fun with. And me, as, you know, the person I am, you know, I like to joke around, and I like to have a good relationship with most of the guys that I'm working with, right? So I understood, and Stu, who helped me, said, Jules, you're basically going to spend, you know, 60-70% of your time for 4 years with this guy. So you really need to like find a guy that you can work with. And then when I got that, I was like, I cared less about the costs because I knew that, okay, for these 4 years, I'll have a good time and I'll enjoy myself, and he'll understand me as who I am as well, right?
Yeah. I think many people forget that it's a two-way street, recruiting, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you have the coach. They have, call it the power, because they are the ones deciding who will attend my school or come onto my team, right? But when they recruit someone, we've been in touch and they've identified, okay, well, Mari is a good prospect, and you were contacted by 4 or 5 schools, right? 6 schools. Then you did your homework because you interviewed them. I mean, they, of course, you need to show your best sides and all that, but they also need to do the same. It's like a job interview.
It is
process.
100%. And then what else I also did was that I knew it was a lot of internationals at Keiser, so I was actually talking with a Norwegian swimmer there as well. Like, talking to the swimmers, I think is a key, because the coach always want to sell, right? We're the best, like, we're the best fit, whatever, blah blah. But like, when you really talk to the swimmers at the team, then they tell the truth. Actually, one of the swimmers I was talking to at one of the teams said, like, the culture difference here in Norway and at the school was so different that he said if he was choosing again, he would recommending me or like himself to go to another college. And being that honest, I think is very important, because you wouldn't know that before you actually started.
Yeah, it's one of the many good tools you have in the bag, right? To include in the process. And this brings me to kind of Keiser, because you actually ended up being roommates with some swimmer from Spain, and
Yes.
and she was helped through AGM, also part of Keystone Sports. And then you had another roommate, also another Spanish tennis player, that was also an AGM athlete. And obviously we work, they're part of Keystone Sports, and we that shows kind of the beauty of connecting with athletes. I mean, you could have had American roommates, but you ended up with Spanish, right?
I did.
And for 4 years.
4 years. I moved actually off campus with them as well, and then today they're 2 of my best friends. So it's crazy. The fun part of a Keiser is so many internationals. I would say it's even more internationals than it is Americans. So you really get to know other cultures and get to know all, the cultures, languages, like everything.
How's your Spanish, Mari?
No hablo español. I don't speak any Spanish at all. That's a shame, though.
But it's amazing that you end up with the best friends from. Of course, it means a lot to us, because it's okay that someone in the company from another part of the world helped them with the exact same process. Come to campus, roommates, become best friends. I mean, we see these stories. Love that.
Yeah, and it's something you'll carry on for the rest of your life, right? Because you're probably going to live in different countries, at some point, and then you'll have contact and a network that will go globally. And I have friends everywhere in the world. Same with Kim, and you're going to have the same, right? So that's just the beauty about going to college. But then let's talk a little bit about, the swimming, and then obviously you did well at Keiser. What's a standout for you? Me initially thinking maybe the first female team in the history of Keiser University to win the nationals.
Yeah, that's the number one, I would guess, because when I got recruited as one of the what do you say, like one of the, like, the, what is it called? No, like, we got recruited for the year that would contribute to win nationals.
Okay, so it's like a part of a 4-year plan, because
Yeah.
you won the title
In my third year, so
your
my
third
junior
year,
year.
okay.
But everything we heard my freshman year was winning. We were gonna win this year, because our
We're
team
gonna
got
win in
second.
3 years.
No, my freshman year when I came.
Okay.
That was number one
That
goal.
was the initial plan. Yeah.
First practice, we heard that we're gonna win this year, and that was everything you practice against, right? And then we came to nationals, and we sucked the first day, and we lost the first day, and that was really hard for us. So we changed the mentality my second year. We didn't talk about winning at all, which I think was good. And then we did it on my junior year. We won. So that was crazy. Like, finally, after 2 years of hard work, we won. Also because our roster at that time was so strong. COVID kind of some schools lost a lot of swimmers in the COVID years. Some with fundings and everything. But Keiser was a really strong team my junior year, and it was crazy. Jumping in a pool with the coaches, the male team also won. So yeah, jumping with everybody in the pool with clothes, screaming, it's fantastic.
It was a good season for Keiser.
It was really.
But tell us, give us an insight, right? So where was the nationals? Did you guys travel or where were you?
We were in Georgia.
You were in Georgia?
So it was not that far. I think it was just 13, 14 hours in a bus.
Yeah, so
only 13.
We went
so it's
not
quite
far at all,
local.
yeah, we went to Tennessee my freshman year, so that's another level. But the pool was pretty nice. I actually don't remember the name of the city right now.
No, but then
But,
you guys traveled, both the men's and the women's team traveled
and
there.
everybody traveled. Like that's the fun part about Keiser, because they have the finances to send everybody, because it's just 18 girls and 18 boys that can compete at nationals, but our team is bigger than that. So we got extra people to cheer, to be loud, to cheer us on, and that was really fun as well. And then when we won, the first event is the 800 relay for male and females. And I was a part of that relay, and we won, which we didn't really think we would do. At least not I. I was so scared. But when we won that, it was crazy. Then we really thought, like, this is something we can do, because that's the kickoff of the whole meet, right? Yeah. So then we went in with the meet with the mentality that we can do this, instead of, we're like behind or something like that.
Yeah. You set the standard.
Yes,
and you
100%.
just,
above SCAD, because SCAD was our biggest enemy.
Okay, so SCAD is Savannah College of Art and Design. So
Yes.
that's been a rivalry.
100%.
Keiser and them.
Finally, we took the national title from them.
That's
But,
nice. That's really nice. And what do you guys do after? Just straight home and then celebrating West Palm Beach, or?
So the fun part about, or the good part about being a part of the NAIA organization, is that we have nationals the first weekend in spring break. So when we're done with nationals, we just go straight for spring break. So we went for the Dominican Republic my junior year. This year we went to Puerto Rico. My freshman year we went to New York, and my sophomore year was COVID, so we didn't really go anywhere.
Okay,
But
so you celebrated the national tournament in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
That's a solid
Just
place to celebrate.
as you do.
Yeah, as you do.
Just
You
with a lot of
should all do that.
teammates, you know.
That's true.
Pre-planned celebration there, or
Kind of.
spontaneous? Hey, we won.
In
Let's
one
go.
way we could celebrate it, or the other way we can just drink it away. So
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, it's a smart decision anyway.
Well, that's
Exactly.
another reason to go to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
really, really smart.
Yeah, because we always ask Florida-based students on the podcast, like, where do you go to spring break? Because that's the number one destination, is to go where you are.
100%. We could just go like 30, 40 minutes down to Boca or to Miami and be crazy there. But to be honest, it's fun to travel a little further, though. You live so close to Miami all the time, so you can always go down there. So just a couple of days in Miami in spring break is enough, because not everybody has spring break at the same time. So we can do our spring break in Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, and then we can go and join others when they have their spring break later. So
Yeah, exactly. But how much time do you have, because knowing the schedule of swimmers and how much you guys train, I mean, how much time did you have to do other things? I mean, you didn't have to commute on a train an hour every day times 2, so 2 hours gone. But how much time extra did you have to do other things?
So of course we have a season from, I would say, September to March, right? So in this period of time you're practicing 6 out of 7 days. You do all the swim practice and weight sessions and all this stuff, but you have more time off than I had when I was swimming back home in Norway. Like, since we were practicing close to school, we didn't have a pool at school, but they're actually building one now. But we had to drive there, but that was just 10-15 minutes away, so that was not a problem. And then we had the calf where we ate and everything. So I would say, like, you had the afternoon off every night, where you could study or be social, and then we of course had morning practice Saturday, so it was not like idle to go out Friday night. But usually you're social Saturday, you're off Sunday, you can go to the beach and tan and do some school if you need so. But the biggest like time period that you can do stuff is when you're done with nationals, because then you don't have all those practices that you have the rest of the year. You obviously you have some mandatory practices like 5 morning practice a week or so.
Oh, only 5 a week.
Yeah,
After the season. Oh, then
that's
you're
not
like, oh,
bad.
that's downtime. Okay.
Morning practice.
This is what I mean with swimmers,
Yeah,
just being there. You're so structured and so hardworking in your training regime. Admire that a great deal. Just imagine if footballers could be the same, right?
Yeah, that wouldn't work for me. But we've talked a little bit about it. Like, you know, and there's no doubt that maybe the first year for many internationals is the toughest year. And you've touched into it and saying that like maybe your 2 best years at college was, you know, your junior year and your senior year. Could you just give us a quick insight on that, right? And then explain us, did you feel a little bit more pressure, less time management, all that stuff the first couple of years, and then year 3 and 4 better?
Yeah, because when you get in your freshman year, you want to show off, right? Like you have to meet some standards. Yeah, like you want to show off to the coach what you can do. You want to perform at school. You want to be the best version of yourself 24/7, right? So that takes a lot. So at least like when and the language is a problem kinda in the beginning as well when you start all the classes. And one thing is to just speak English with your friends, but like going to class and perform well under exams and everything is a stressful factor as well. But going to nationals my freshman year, it's so much nerves because you have to perform at nationals because that's the main meet of the year. But after some time, like you start to relax, you know what you're doing, you know what meets kind of looks like, you know the schedule, you know the coach, what he expects and everything. So for me, in my junior and senior year, especially my senior year, was the best swimming wise. I actually went to a sports psychologist my last year because I was really good to stress, like I was stressing about everything. So a combination about knowing everything and getting more like practice to know what to think and what to concentrate on. My last year helped me to relax and enjoy, because I wanted to end my swimming career enjoying swimming instead of being like sick of the thought of swimming. So I think that's the clue, like just enjoy it, enjoy the ride, enjoy the time you're there, and then the results, they'll come.
Amazing. But sports psychologist, was that your initiative, or was it something your coach and athletic department encouraged?
It was my coach that said I should go. I was struggling my freshman year. Actually at nationals, I had an incident at nationals where I passed out. So
in the pool?
In the pool, in the final at the mile, because I did a mile. And so after that incident, I had big struggles doing the mile again. I had this, everything was in my head though, like 100%. I could do it like physically. But when you do the long distance, you have to have your head with you. So my head was stopping me. So he said my junior year, he said that I should start to talk to someone that could help me get over that hill, because then I would enjoy it way more. And I did. And I think it worked. Like I think more people have to understand that you have to have your mind with you, and it's not a shame to go to a sports psychologist or a psychologist at all. I think it's just healthy.
I think it's a very good thing to do. Absolutely. I mean, not. We should all probably go and see someone, not just regarding sports, but on all our issues. If you talk about that, let's not open that kind of worms. But no, but it's we've been, call it hobby shrinks. We do speak with a lot of athletes that need someone to talk to. Yeah. But it could be a difficult situation. It could be having a bit hard time handling my coach. Not really fitting into the system. It could be. We've had loads of these, and so sometimes it's just good to to talk and be open about it, and get another perspective, and hey, maybe try this, and then it hurts. But of course, in some cases, it's beyond our level of expertise when it comes to being a psychologist. But to be a bit more open about this, I think it's very healthy.
No, yeah, I agree 100%. And as an individual, like swimming is an individual sport, but at college it's a team sport, but you're still in the pool swimming alone, right? So if you don't have your head with you, like it's hard to perform well.
Yeah, and you're living proof that it works, right?
Of course, you did some schoolwork while between all the swimming sessions and your five morning sessions in down season or off season. How was it to study international business?
I think it was interesting. Of course, you start with all the general courses your freshman year and all that stuff. But my professors, especially in international business, was amazing. I actually am still in contact with him. but I think at Keiser, since we're a pretty small school, you get a really personal relationship with the professors in a good way. In my international business class, we were just 8 people or so. So you really had time to talk about stuff you would never ever discuss in public. And no, I learned so much. And I think that's the clue with small schools, is that you get so close to your professors. Like if you ever need help, you can just call them. Send a message or go to the office. You're always welcome, and I think for me that was a clue, because going to practice like all the time, every morning, every night almost, like and go to school at the same time, it is a lot of time management you have to do. So being able to have your professors that close, it helps you.
It is. I was at not a little bit bigger than Kaiser, but I also had in my major, going deep into classes, just great support from very knowledgeable professors. I mean, I was studying journalism, and one of the professors was a Pulitzer winner. I mean, you learn a lot from that, and to have like firsthand, not speed dial, but you could pick their brain on a lot of different things. So that's really cool. And of course, you did well in your classes. That's a good sign. And cap and gown moment, you get your degree finally, and you guess you had your family joining for this. I mean, that's the typical thing. Was that a big celebration?
Actually. Everybody came over. My sister, my brother and his girlfriend, my mom and dad. They all came.
Is that because it was Florida or because of your graduation?
For graduation mainly though, but also because it's Florida, free vacation, and we were traveling and going up and down to Miami. We were watching Miami Heat game. That game was crazy. We went to Orlando, and I don't know, we all went for a vacation together, and that was really nice. Yeah,
nice way to end the chapter. I feel like you ticked so many of cool boxes and things during your 4 years.
Yeah.
Not everybody, stay for 4 years at the same school. Some transfers, some do, but it seemed to be like the ideal choice to go there in the end.
I think it's because of the people I met there, the team. We were like a second family. It's a cliche, but we were like everybody at the team was so close. Not even just at the team, but at the school in general. Like you got so close to so many people. And but a swim team it's very special for me, especially the people I started off with. They got really close. Like usually, if we didn't go out partying at Saturdays or in the week, like we went watching movies at the boys' dorm, or we did so many fun things together. We went to the beach as a team. The swimmers, I think we're the team that is the most together, not social wise, but I think the reason why is because we spend so much time with each other in the pool and the rest of the day, so it's natural that we stick together when we're off as well. So I actually moved off with 2 of my best friends, 1 tennis player and 1 swimmer from my team, and it was the best decision I ever did.
Yeah. And now it's interesting, right? You've been an intern here over the summer and learning a bit more about sports recruiting and everything that we do from our perspective.
Yeah.
You've been on the other seat before. But now you're also moving to do your master's degree in Wagner College up in New York. So, but now no swimming involved. Now
No.
you're just working in the athletic department.
I'm a swimmer now.
Oh, that's the alumni, or
Yeah.
when you're retired,
Yeah.
you're a swimmer.
I'm
Okay.
a swimmer.
Also,
But yeah, like I'm not done with the US. I love being young and studying the States. So I'm going back to New York, Wagner. But now I will be a master student, a graduate student. But I will also be a GA, a graduate assistant for the sports department. So for when I work for them, I get a scholarship back. So I actually get a full ride from them. So that's nice.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
What a deal.
That's
Great.
a really good deal, but I would never have been there if it was not for my coach, though. Because he said from day one that if you ever want to be a master student here in the US, you're not paying for it. You have so many opportunities to get it for free or partly free. So he have been helping all the international students that really want to stay to get jobs, or being a teaching assistant. That also a choice. My roommate is actually going to University of Florida as teaching assistants with the same full ride as I do. So it is so many opportunities that people don't know about the masters as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic to take advantage, and I mean we know a lot of our students do go on and take masters. Some, of course, travel back to Europe and do it there, but of course many you're done with your eligibility. You're not allowed to swim more. I mean, in theory, you had your COVID year, one extra year, but not everybody. You're kind of done. I mean, you.
I said 4
achieved,
years, and I got 4 amazing years, and
Exactly.
I think it's.
So you have another. I mean, remember at lunch the other day you were talking about how you need to brush up on your accounting skills because there's some tasks await come
I have
end
a
of August.
pre-math course I have to do before I start, and that's a struggle. Accounting is not easy, especially when you had this whole summer off. So
Hey, you've been working an internship. What's going on here?
a little bit different though.
Maybe not accounting and accruals.
Yeah. But yet again, you're proof that, use the resources that you get in the US. And it's funny now, like looking back, you picked Keiser University and you had, the 4 maybe best years of your life there. And then the coach again helps you, finding a place where you can do your master's degree and be a GA and then obviously get that degree for free. It just shows that using the resources that you get in the US is vital. And that's my biggest advice to the kids that we have there now and the kids that are traveling over, to use the resources that each college can provide and give.
Yeah. I'm thinking, Shine contacted you, scouted you, and made contact and kind of opened up this world. I mean, of course, it's mostly you, but that was the catalyst for, hey, why don't we look at this? And then you decide, and then this ends up being the journey. That's great.
Pretty amazing.
It is.
It is.
Mari, thank you so much for coming on to the show. I've learned a lot today.
Yeah, me too.
It's nice to sit in the studio and talk. And you've done extremely well. You've been great this summer. So you have learned something in these classes. Maybe brush up on your accounting skills. But
I will.
But yeah, no, it's been great. Last words to our listeners.
Enjoy, have fun, and do as much as you can in the 4 years. It will go so fast.
Well, that's a good way to end.
Yep.
All
See
right.
ya.
See you next
See
time.
ya.